Hello, everyone. Welcome to FICUNAM Dialogues. This is a space where we share conversation with filmmakers about their storytelling processes, their experiences, and about the film that we all just are gathered here to watch. Thank you, Lilith and Milena, for being here with us today and for being part of this 12th edition of FICUNAM. And also, congratulations on celebrating BEATRIX as part of the international competition of FICUNAM and your first feature-length film. And that has already traveled to many other film festivals, including Marseille and premiered in Biennale. And we're so happy to have it here in Mexico City as part of FICUNAM. So I just want to just open up the conversation. I think BEATRIX, a personal experience that I had was so like an image, an image of like oneself, just being in this space with BEATRIX, and how we can all, like as women, relate to her in one way or another. And I love the ambiguity of the film as well. We're not sure like why she's in this house, whose house this is. And so it's also allows this like fun kind of sensitivity to her character and what she's doing. So I just want to open it up, open the conversation. If you could just tell us about the story and how you came about this beautiful character played by Eva Sommer.
Thank you for the nice introduction. Milan and me just kind of started to talk a lot about the moments of being alone or being with ourselves, and while during this conversation we kind of found out that there are a lot of moments that we shared, like moments of being alone where you're not observed, and we thought that no one else is like doing or having these moments, but we shared a lot of them. So our thought was to share this with a wider audience. So we started to create the character BEATRIX. Yeah.
And we also thought about a lot about what is a real and an honest person. And also we thought about if this person is more real when it is alone, or if it's more real when it is with different other people. So we wanted to show a very authentic character. So we started to create this character BEATRIX before we created the story. So when we started to write our script, we first only spoke about this character.
And also maybe an interesting thing is that we that it was important for us to gather all those moments that are usually left untold in other films, like all those in-between moments that you usually don't show, that are not like the dramatic happening or like a big love story or something like that, but more like those small everyday moments that we wanted to give like center stage for our movie.
Yeah, it's so like, as one is watching it, you're trying to figure out like, why is she here? What is she doing here? Whose house is this? And I continue to question myself that when I was watching the film, and then like you realize it's just her space, and that's where she is now. And perhaps like we don't need to answer all these questions all the time. And I think that that's definitely what one can feel, what the film transmits, especially with these very close-up images and different angles. Can you talk a little bit about that process, like the actual more like technical process of how it was to be so close up, and also these different angles that we're in?
First, I would like to add that we tried to not explain too much to the audience, so the audience can make their own story about it, and so BEATRIX can be a projection surface. So that was very important to us. Also with the framing, that we don't show everything that has to be seen. So yeah, we left things untold, so you can create your own story.
Mm-hmm. And about the technical question about the camera, we started by making rules to ourselves. So one rule, for example, was that we only worked with 2 lenses, one lens for inside and one for outside. So the framing you see was just like most of the time the only possible frame because of the size of the room and the lens. And also another rule for us was that we don't have camera movement, that the camera stands still on a tripod all the time. And also we never told Eva Sommer, our actress, who is actually not an actress, but a performance artist. We never told her the frame, so she could just move in and out of the frame and do her thing, like perform for herself and not for the camera. That was also important for us, that she's not performing the everyday for someone else, but for herself. And another rule was also that we only worked with natural light, like lamps or sunlight, but not with film light. Yeah, and also another decision was to work on 16mm film. So there was not, there were not a lot of chances to repeat certain scenes. So we knew we could do one scene 1 to maximum 3 times. So the moment of filming was kind of very loaded and precious, because we knew it had to happen now and you couldn't like rehearse it over and over again. Yeah, I think that's the combination that makes those kind of images somehow.
That's beautiful. I think all those decisions and these, like the sense of rules, really overall captures like the feeling of that Beatrix is transmitting. And also so interesting to know that she's a performance artist. That's like a fun fact. How is working with her and like as your team, you as like women co-directing and with Eva, how is that process? Working with like a performance artist?
Yeah, we enjoyed it very much to work with Eva. Already when we wrote the script, we thought about her. We wanted to work with her. And also I think the script somehow, she influenced it also. So we never gave her the script before. So she knew a lot about the character and we tried to understand this character together. And for her, it was also very important to understand her. And then every day of shooting, we discussed what's going to happen. And then, yeah, she tried to feel like Beatrix would feel and to act like she would act. Yeah. So it was a lot about discussing and speaking about this character.
And also a lot about trust also, because I remember when we like had the first talks about Beatrix with Eva, we also told her like, yeah, we wrote the script and like one scene will be that Beatrix cuts her hair off. Would you be okay with that? And then she was like, as long as you are comfortable with it, I will be comfortable. Like she gave us all her trust. And I think that was also a big, yeah, big ground for the collaboration with her, that we just completely, like we trusted her and she trusted us, and that's why it also was kind of easy to work together.
And also we shot chronological, so we kind of experienced the development of Beatrix or the story together.
Yeah, that's so lovely. The cutting scene is like I was like, oh, like how do they how does like an actress say like, okay, I'm gonna do this and like commit to this moment. So it's lovely that you say that the trust is something that was always there throughout the filmmaking process. It was a great moment. I really enjoyed that moment and very much related to that moment where you're just like, I'm just gonna do this. That was really fun. And then so speaking of this, of like this, how you were all working together and doing it together and perhaps not looking at the script the whole time, I briefly read something about the film that is this like boundary between documentary filmmaking and fiction filmmaking and how like perhaps this can be like a blurred line. Do you, Milena and Lilith, feel like there's something that like Beatrix has this blurry line of nonfiction and fiction filmmaking?
I think we're very happy that people perceive it in that kind of way, that it feels real to people and that it feels authentic and not like not so fictional, but it actually is a fiction film. Like there was a script for every scene and everything was written down, and Eva Sommer is not Beatrix, she's Eva Sommer. But we are very happy that it feels real to people. It was important to us that it feels realistic, like that it doesn't, it's not like overacted, or that you believe her in some kind of way.
And we always wanted to tell about these real moments and honest moments.
But I think also that was the biggest, that was a big achievement that Eva is, or I just love that Eva is able to forget about the camera when the camera is there. Like the presence of the camera, you don't see it in her face or in her movements. And I think that's a very big talent of hers, because if like I see a camera, I like immediately try to look nice and I cannot like relax, and she's just so relaxed with it, and she just doesn't give a shit about it.
Yes, I love that. I think that's definitely what one can feel while watching the film. Is there anything else that you want to share with us, with our audiences, about the process of Beatrix or its message, or perhaps where the film is going next? Is it going to continue to travel?
I think it was also very important to us that our team was so small, and we were like only 7 people at the set when we were shooting. So that was also very important. So Eva and everybody could trust each other, and we could create these situations and moments.
Mm-hmm. And also everyone of the team was equally important in the process. There were like no hierarchies. I mean, we wrote the story and we directed it, but it was also important for us that our producer, Lara Bellon, was very much involved into the writing process as well. And Antonia, our camera woman, was also very involved in like the camera and also in the story. And Eva, as a performance artist, was also involved in creating the character. So it was like really a group project somehow.
Yeah. And for all or nearly all of us, it was the first time that we worked on such a big project.
It sounds like a dream team, like very collaborative community doing this together, and that's what we see. And are you going to work on more feature-length films? Has this sparked more storytelling to write together, to do together?
We just recently started to write on something new, also together again, but it's quite challenging after Beatrix, because when we started to work on Beatrix, we didn't expect that we could even like realize this film. It was more like we just dreamed of filming this, and we were just writing and putting all our effort in, and now it's kind of different because now expectations, like no one expected anything and we just did it, and now it's different because.
And also we know what's going to happen.
Yeah. We just walked into this film blindly, like step by step we were learning, like how do you even get like funding for a film, or how could you work on 16, which lab do we choose? And yeah, it's different, but it's also nice to experience it in another kind of way.
Yeah, and I'm sure like doing it together also helps to, you know, inspire each other along the way of the filmmaking process, which is not easy. So definitely, I recognize the work that you have both done, that your team has done to tell the story of BEATRIX. And we're so happy to have it included as the international competition in FICUNAM.
We are so happy that it's included.
Yes, and we will, Mexico City will be here for your next film. Yes, thank you so much. This was a really nice conversation, and I invite our audiences to continue to enjoy the FICUNAM programming of this 12th edition. And congratulations again for your first feature-length film, and we will await your next projects.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us, and have a nice time at the festival.
Yes.